Hey everybody, it's Andy.
And it's Rachel.
And we're coming at you off schedule. Everyone's probably thinking, what's up with that? Well, we are going to continue doing our regular semi-weekly. I think that's right. I was confused semi-weekly and bi-weekly.
I think it's just weekly.
Okay. Well, we're going to continue.
Just weekly.
We're going to continue doing our longer episodes where we discuss what we've been reading the last couple of weeks. Bi-weekly. And then we're also going to start doing these mini-sodes in the interim, in between those, where we'll kind of talk about different subjects.
And they'll just be shorter episodes.
Yeah, easily digestible, like saltine.
Kind of like a whenever.
Yeah. So we today wanted to kick things off with a look back on 2025 so far and talk about 3 books that we loved that we've read this year.
Because can you believe it? Like, we are almost in August.
No, it's literally going to be August. Maybe when this airs, I don't, or very, very close
Very
to
close.
it. Yeah, this week or this year is flying by. I cannot believe it. So it's good to step back and do a little reflection, help us plan our course for reading through the end of the year, and get to share with y'all who maybe haven't heard all of the episodes before some of the books we've loved and some of the books we have despised, hated, burned. No, we haven't burned any books, but definitely some where I wanted to throw it across the room. And as a disclaimer, like, this is just our opinion. We are, in the scope of this world, nobody.
Like, just regular, what do you call them? Joes?
Regular Joes.
Regular Joes.
And so if we loved a book that you hate, or if we hated a book that you loved, which might happen, we're sorry, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And my grandma used to say,
I knew you were going to say
everybody's entitled to their own opinion, even when it's wrong. So we're happy to be wrong or right.
Yep.
So we're going to start off with some books we loved. This will probably kind of give you a little insight into us as readers, maybe people.
I don't know. Some of these are a little surprising too.
Yes, I definitely agree. Yeah, some books have made my list, and I'm looking at yours that I would have never guessed. So why don't you give us your 3rd favorite book
so far this year?
Okay.
Well, I'm going to start off with a bang because I read this book right here at the beginning of the year, My Best Friend's Exorcism.
Oh, I love it.
By Grady Hendrix.
I love it.
And actually, this is one that you recommended to me. You read it in a day last year, and I think I read it in a day this year. And I was obsessed. I think there's a show.
There's a movie.
A movie.
Yeah, a super good movie.
That we really need to watch, and I'll let you know what I feel about that. But this is like, I mean, you can tell kind of by the cover, this is 80s at its best. It's set in the 80s, like right around the time that we were born.
Yeah.
And it's about 2 girl friends, teenage girl friends.
Not girlfriends.
Not girlfriends. And they, all of a sudden, one of them starts acting weird, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but it's like the perfect nostalgic read.
Yeah.
Even though I was barely alive in the 80s, and you even more so.
I had 7 good months of being alive in the 80s.
I know you love the 80s. Like, you're kind of obsessed
with
like the music and the movies.
The music.
The music for sure.
The fashion, I'm not. It's hit or miss.
Yeah. I mean, we're true 90s kids.
Yes.
But, you know, the 80s were part of our lives as well. And obviously our parents' lives.
Big time.
And so we were influenced by them for sure. But like every chapter, I love that every chapter is another song from the 80s, like a title of a song. I loved that. I mean, it's a demon possessed teenage girl, and so you don't know like throughout the story how much it's just the teenage girl and how much it's the demon that she's possessed by.
There's a lot of overlap between.
Yes. I mean, we have 2 girls, so and already we're slightly afraid. So, but yeah, and then it really like Grady Hendrix does this. He does like a different genre of horror,
Yeah.
which I would call like horror comedy.
Yes.
Because even throughout a serious scene, the one major serious scene when there is an exorcism happening.
That's not a spoiler. It's in the title.
I mean, it truly, this is what it's about. Even in that scene, there's so much humor, and I've never read anything like it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it had to be in some of my top from this year. And just like easy breezy read. So if you want to start getting or dipping your toes into horror, this would be exactly the perfect book, I think. I mean, it really puts your bar, it sets the bar really high.
Yeah. I think a good 80s analogy is like it's a good gateway drug.
It really is.
Yeah.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is actually a super recent book, as in we talked about it on the podcast last week, I think. But
has this episode even come out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this came out on Monday. Okay, but it is the Decagon House Murders, and I got to read the author's name every time. It is Yukito Ayatsuji, and this I actually saw this book in Publishers Weekly. I get their emails every day, and they are the ones who announce new books coming out, like what to look forward to. It's for the publishing and book selling industry, but anybody can get it. And so, yeah, I saw this. I was really like deep within my Japanese obsession. And I was like, ooh, a murder mystery from a Japanese writer. I haven't read one of those before. So I picked it up, and it is a really interesting story about 7 kids on break from school. They all are in a club devoted to the love of classic mysteries. Think Agatha Christie, Gaston Leroux, Ellery Queen, like the foundational storytellers of the mystery genre as we know it.
The golden era.
The golden era, yes. And so they all go out to this island where mysterious deaths have happened. And they're going to go get inspired, live among the mystery. But one by one, they start dying. And instead of normal kids like me, who would just freak out and like try and swim back to shore, they start trying to solve the mystery. And it has a really great secondary story that goes along with it, a really great resolution. I loved it. And the cool thing about it, I learned a term which I had not heard before, and that is a fair play mystery. And that means every single clue that you, the reader, needs to solve it is in these pages. There's no surprise person going to show up out of nowhere. Everything you need's in there. And
does it take away from the twist?
Not at all. Okay. No, because I got to the end and actually finally found out, like, all right, who done it? And it was a great twist, but also like I hit myself in the head, like, because there's so many clues, like they're so obvious when you know what happened.
Kind of like go back and underline everything.
Yeah. So I absolutely loved this. I actually just ordered a new one that just came out, being translated by him as well. So,
is it a series or is it?
No, they're all standalones.
Okay.
I think there are 3 now. The Millhouse Murders and then the Labyrinth Murders. So
all murder mysteries.
All murder mysteries, okay. All fair play, very, very classic mystery. So I love this book.
The The Japanese Agatha Christie.
The Japanese Agatha Christie. This was written back in the 80s, but just recently translated.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I absolutely loved it. I'm excited to read more. And if you are a mystery fan, like, definitely get this. And kind of like my best friend's Exorcism, it's a great gateway into mystery. If you are like, oh, you know, I don't really read mysteries. You know, they seem kind of dense, or like just a lot of people talking.
Or I only read the classics.
Or I only read like modern day thrillers, which are really an entirely different genre.
So maybe I need to read this.
I think you should. I think everyone should. I absolutely loved it.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
Number 2.
Oh my.
Silver Medal.
So
are you going to be able to hold this book up?
So Silver Medal is actually a gold book. But it is The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. And it was written, I think, around the time I was born.
I think so.
Right?
Or maybe even before.
It was the year you were born.
Okay.
So I was 2. And
judging by the size of it, you probably started reading then, right?
No. It took me a year, though.
It did.
Because I started it when we had a newborn.
Yes.
And I was like, I cannot handle this. It is so good. And I really want to be able to pay attention and have at least half my brain in order to really take all of this in. Because it is a giant saga set in 12th century England.
I think having a newborn might be the single worst time to start any book, but especially that book.
Yes, because it is, while it is a thick one, it also has like tiny print. So it's very long. I think it was like over 40 hours on like audio. And I went back and forth between audio and the actual book because there's so much happening. There's adventure and there's like this interwoven lives from different classes. There's a priest and a master builder and just like peasants and royalty. And you get to hear each of their stories. And, you know, there are a lot of books where you're like, oh, I like hearing this perspective more than this perspective.
Yeah.
There was literally not a certain perspective that I wanted to like skip over.
Wow.
Every single like thread in this interwoven saga was like magic. It was a masterpiece.
And it covered a lot of time.
Yes.
And a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel like there were any threads that didn't get connected back to the story?
No, and I think that's the greatest part of this. That's crazy. That it is so incredibly complex in its story.
Yeah.
But I never once, I was not upset with the end. And I never once forgot who was who.
Wow.
Like all of the characters are extremely distinct and even have like distinct voices and their perspectives were just so clear. And I would say this is definitely, you know, number 2 this year, but like one of my top books I've ever read. Now, am I going to finish this and like dive into another one of his books? Because this is part of a series. There are more books and even like a more recent prequel.
Oh, jeez.
But no, I'm not going to because they're all this big or bigger. And this is like 1,000 pages, I think. Almost 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
So while I would love to dive into this world, I just don't feel like I have the capacity to continue this series. But I definitely will add them to my TBR and get to them someday.
Another one where there's been a very good adaptation on film for it.
Yes, and I really need to get to that.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I have less reading to do.
And more watching.
More watching.
Well, my number 2, is definitely one I probably would never have picked up on my own.
This is another surprise.
This Rachel bought it, having heard about it.
Yeah, I heard about it because there are so many indie bookstores that are promoting, especially like local authors.
Yeah.
And this is one that just kept coming up and kept coming up,
and she's very local to where we are in Texas. And so yeah, you picked it up, and I'm so glad you did, because my silver medal is The Turtle House by Amanda Churchill. And
this makes me so happy.
Looking at this cover, and I never in a bajillion years would I have even thought to pick it up.
It's got like flowers, and it's obviously historical fiction.
Yes, all things that generally are not my milieu. But I cried reading this book. I smiled. I loved it. I could not read it fast enough. It is a beautiful, beautiful story of a granddaughter who is connecting with her grandmother, and learning about her grandmother's history in Japan, and coming from Japan to Texas, and how her life was upended completely, and the sacrifices that she made to eventually lead to, having this granddaughter in her life, and other wonderful family too. It was heartbreaking in so many places, and I think especially poignant because I have wonderful grandparents, all of them. I only have one left though, and so reading about, this granddaughter who is looking at her grandma and thinking, you know, time is limited, and I don't feel like I know this woman who's been in my life forever.
She has this whole backstory that she has never talked about.
Yeah. And I could definitely relate to that. I mean, me and my grandmother talked all the time. She was one of my best friends, one of the best people in the world. But there are years and years of her life that I will never know now. And so even reading fictitiously, um, someone getting to have that opportunity was really powerful, and I loved it. I'm so jealous. Rachel actually got to meet the author at her book club, and even have our copy signed, yes, which is just
amazing,
so crazy to me. I was like,
it made me love this book even more because Amanda Churchill was an open book. Like, she really answered all of our questions, told us all about her the way that she wrote the book.
Yeah.
And really truly that's like her grandma for the most part. Like, very distinct voice, very just like not a stereotype character.
Yeah.
Like, like stereotypical grandma who's been through things and just doesn't talk about it. No, this woman was so real, I feel like. I don't have a Japanese grandmother, but I have a Mexican grandmother. And there are things that come out of her mouth sometimes that I'm like, wait, what?
What'd you say?
What? And not because I can't understand her, but because what she's saying is so like out of character for her. I don't know. And it just felt like that grandmother was very much like that.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
But such a good one.
Such a good one.
And such a good set in Texas, and we are in Texas, so it's like, kind of a little bit feels like
home.
Yeah.
Ish. I don't know. It was wonderful. I think everyone should read it.
Yes.
Well, what is your number one so far this year?
Please. I don't think anyone is going to be surprised by this.
I'm not.
But my favorite book this year so far is All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. It is a book that will stay with me forever. the reason I heard about this book is because it was on all the top lists, I think, last year.
Rightfully
when
so.
it came out. Yeah. And so I didn't get around to it last year, but my book club chose to read it, my in real life book club. And when we did that, I started listening to it and realized, oh, there's more to this story, and I don't think that listening is the proper way to take this in.
There are definitely books like that.
Yes.
It's like, I need all of my focus on these words.
Yes. So I went into it thinking that it was going to be a thriller, but really this is like several different genres. It's genre bending is what some people might say. There is a little bit of mystery and thriller like aspect to it. But I would say it's more a coming of age story about a boy who is kidnapped, and I can't say much more about that. But anyways, he has this young friend growing up who ends up being like obsessed with finding him, and there are things that happen while he's kidnapped that we get to hear about, and uh, basically that whole situation sets up the decades long story that is the results of this trauma and the complex healing that has to happen after all of that, between the two characters, Patch and Saint. And it is so beautifully done. In the end, I was sobbing, like
uncontrollably.
Like not a pretty sob.
I thought something terrible had happened.
And I'm just sitting there trying to get through the end, and oh my gosh. I mean, I've reached out and to Chris Whitaker and just said how amazing this book is and how it will forever be in my top reads ever.
Yeah.
And he actually responded and just said thank you for picking up the book and loving it, and that makes me like a book even more when an author is willing. I mean, a huge international best-selling author reaches out and says to us, like, he even listened to the podcast and was like, that was great. I loved hearing that. He loved hearing how young he looked, because apparently he's not as young as we thought.
Could have fooled me.
I know. But back to the book. This book, it could be. I don't know that I would recommend it to everyone, but because you know what, I would recommend it to everyone, but you just have to be in the mood for it. It's dark, it's heavy, but there is hope in the end, and it's there's a lot to unpack. So I think anyone who is looking for a good book club pick, this is a really good one. I mean, usually my book club talks for a few minutes here and there about the book. This one really took up our whole time. So lots and lots to unpack. So good. Just so good.
It's on my list. I really need to read it. Yes.
I don't know that you'll enjoy it as much as I did, but
I loved the Turtle House. So everything I thought I knew about books is out the window.
There we go.
And speaking of books I didn't think I'd like, my number one book so far this year is Lamb by Christopher Moore.
A new favorite
author. I wish I could turn the camera. I mean, I've already got like 10 of his books lined up. But welcome. The subtitle is The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal. And the short and sweet is Jesus' best friend growing up, his nickname is Biff. and he gets resurrected into modern day America by an angel. And the angel says, "Hey, we need you to write the real gospel that tells people what the heck happened to Jesus between birth and crucifixion, because the Bible's a little murky on that." And so Biff's like, "Oh, God, I guess if I have to. You trapped me in this motel room with nothing but soap operas on TV. I guess I'll just write." And what unfolds is the most bonkers, bananas story of globetrotting, magic, yetis, a billion other things, that tells for the first time what really happened to Jesus all those years that aren't covered in the Bible. Obviously, none of this is true that any of us know of. It could all be true, and we'll never know. But it was so funny. I books don't make me laugh out loud often, but something about his writing, every page has got like a great joke on it, and it makes it so fun. And I hate the term unput downable, but like I truly was like, all right, can I take 10 minutes like breaks from work and just like get a chapter in real quick?
You didn't.
I didn't, if anyone's listening. But I'm absolutely obsessed with this. Would I recommend it to everyone? No. No, I would not. It's I'm gonna say heretical is probably the best word to use. And if you are someone who is religious without a sense of humor, definitely not for you. It really kind of thumbs its nose at a lot of things about Christianity. None of it is ever directly disrespectful, but it's also not reverent. It's in this sort of weird gray area between the two. So if you can't take a joke about your religion, I would pass this one up. But
especially the Christian religion.
Yes, mainly the Christian and Jewish religions. The other ones, I mean, there's a lot about Buddhism in here too. So, but yeah, I absolutely loved it, and I think anybody who likes a good story will love this book. Even if you don't know anything about Jesus or the Bible or anything, this does a really good job of explaining not only the real story, which is mixed in there, but also the culture and the context of those things. I actually learned a lot culturally of what was happening during Jesus's life, and just like why the heck were there Romans in Israel when Jesus was alive? You know, it talked about all of their occupation and how they overcame the Greeks, which had been there before, and yeah, just
so
super
like historical.
I mean, it heavy fiction and historical for sure.
Yep.
But I this might be like a once a year reread for me. I'm awesome. Excited.
Well, now that we've gotten to all those books that we love, we're gonna quickly.
I wonder if we should have started with our hates. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
This will be fun. Everybody loves to complain sometimes.
Yeah, and we don't have the books because some of them we never owned, and some of them
we've gotten rid of.
We're really trying to like get rid of books that we have that we don't really necessarily want to reread or look at. And so these are some of those. So we'll put the book up here.
Oh, that was good.
But I'm gonna start.
Man, White, is that you?
Oh yeah. Don't you know? I'm gonna start.
Okay.
And it's one that I was listening to, another one for book club.
Are you going 3, 2, 1? Or are you just doing this? Like, is there like a most hated?
No, I hate them for different reasons.
And yes, we know that hate is a strong word.
Is a strong word.
And we're using it correctly here.
I mean, we are really, okay. So I'm just going to dive in because it's, yeah. The Wedding People by Alison Espach, I think is how you say it. It was one of the most hyped books last year. I think it even won some awards. I have no idea why. It's about this woman who goes to a hotel to actually commit suicide. And she ends up the only person in the hotel who is not a part of this wedding that is happening at the hotel.
That sounds like a good setup.
It sounded like a great story, and it probably could have been. But it turned into this very like superficial and cliche story. Like the characters were super like stereotypical bride and the groom, and I don't know. I didn't like the characters at all. I actually ended up DNFing this book after I was like over halfway through it. But the reason I put it on here is because I actually did go to book club and I heard the ending and all the things that happened in the book, even some really strange scenes that I can't even say out loud. It just was boring. Like I didn't connect to the characters at all.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how you could put suicide with these like comedic characters and almost like caricatures.
Did it come across as funny? Like, was it meant to be like a dark comedy?
No. I think it was supposed to like add some lighthearted parts, and they were supposed to be like friendship and starting to understand herself because she had just been through a divorce, and the message was really unclear to me, and it just felt flat.
Well, avoid it.
There you go.
Well, this one I might upset some people, but I read The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley up here.
Look at you go.
Look at me go. Now I'm Vanna White. And interestingly, sort of the same feedback as you just gave. Every single character in this book, I was hoping was the one who died. And there's a lot of characters.
Because you learn at the beginning.
You learn at the very beginning somebody has died, and then it's like, let's go back in time. Quentin Tarantino does this better in every movie than Lucy Foley did in this book. But yeah, all of them were awful people. Truly awful, disgusting people. And I'm not sure if that was like intentional so that you would suspect everyone, but they were all banging each other and stealing from each other and lying to each other, and then they all went on a vacation together and got snowed in Scotland, and then somebody died. So
she tends to like that trope of like snowed in, can't escape.
It can be really good. See the Decagon house murders. But this was just awful, and not even like well written to make up for the bad characters. It was just bad.
I can honestly say I haven't met a Lucy Foley book that I truly loved.
Weirdly, like, I've never met a Lucy. I thought that was what you were gonna say.
No. The guest list was up there, but still not like I barely remember what happened in it, having read it.
And I feel like it's the same story, probably. So, hard pass. No more Lucy Foley for me.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one was actually a book that I read with my best friend Savannah from Idaho.
Ooh.
And it is called The Art Thief.
Oh, yeah.
A true story of love, crime, and a dangerous obsession by Michael Finkel. Well, while there was crime, I don't know where the dangerous obsession comes in, or even real love. Like, there was a very toxic relationship. I wouldn't call it love. Anyways, you're kind of getting what I'm putting out there, but it's just like, it was so repetitive, and it was basically like I was looking for like this kind of like thriller narrative,
like espionage and catching this big criminal.
No, it was this guy who went into museums and pickpocketed, or not pickpocketed, but basically took the art and put it in his pocket, or in his shirt, or wherever he could put it in his car and drove away. Like that.
And got away with it.
And literally
time and time again.
What he did every time. So it got so repetitive, and it wasn't even like he was stealing art that I really like, that's very super popular and I know all of these things. It was also happening in a part of the world that I'm like, where are all these museums? These aren't like big museums, so they have, limited stock and
apparently bad security.
Very bad security. It just got repetitive very quickly. And,
And I remember you saying the ending was like...
There wasn't, the ending is that he was still doing it. Like, after he got caught, he still did it. There were just so many toxic relationships in this. And I felt like in every nonfiction book, there should be some sort of message that you're trying to tell besides the story. And there was nothing.
I don't think that that's fair to say. I don't want to argue, but the message is you can steal art and have no consequences.
I know. I think it was like, out of all of the things, like, stealing art, why is that a big deal? He was treated with just like a slap on the wrist, and that was it. And it was just like he kept going back and kept going back. And it just, I don't know, like, anything could have been explored, like why museums are vulnerable to these kinds of people, or the lack of punishment for these crimes,
like, criminal reform, or anything.
There were so many places this book could have gone. See, I'm getting like heated. There were so many places this book could have gone, and it just kind of ended. And it ended with like, he still does these things. Like, he's really just
he's compulsive.
He doesn't, and he likes the art, yes, but I think it's more of a habit now than it is about the art.
Yeah, it's less a heist story and more like a guy with a mental illness.
Right.
Like this special form of kleptomania.
Yeah, it really was. So, not for me.
Yeah. Well, I picked up a book that probably everyone has heard of in movie form, The Bridges of Madison County. And I remember as a younger person, this movie was like
iconic.
I think it won awards and everybody had to see it. It was like,
is it Madam who's the main woman in this?
I can't remember who the actors. I thought it was Sally Field for some reason,
no,
but
it's what's her name? She played Julia Child.
Yeah, her name will come to me.
How come I can't remember it?
She's not that great apparently.
Now I can't. I have to.
But the book was written by Robert James Waller, and it starts off with a really interesting premise. Like, this guy is a photographer for National Geographic, and his Meryl Streep, his wife has left him,
and Clint
Eastwood. Ooh. So yeah, he just travels the world taking pictures for National Geographic, and he happens to find himself in Madison County taking pictures of covered bridges. And while he's there, he happens to stop and ask for directions of this woman who he immediately becomes just in love with.
Insta
love, first sight. And her husband happens to be out of town, and she's feeling frisky, and they end up just doing it a whole bunch of times. That's the book.
That's the whole book.
Like,
then how could it be such a good movie?
For like 6 days, they shack up with one another, do it, take pictures of covered bridges, and then part ways, literally never to speak again until their deathbed, when there's a little bit of non-resolution.
Spoiler alert.
This was a horrible book. I think I gave it a few stars. Now that I'm thinking about it and getting mad I wasted time on it, I'm going to go back and give it 1 star.
So
God, not a lot pisses me off, but wasting my time reading bad books, that does it.
At least it was a tiny one.
It was, yeah, very quick.
All right, my last one, I'm just going to go real quick. A Short Walk Through a Wide World. I went over this in one of our episodes this year, but the concept was this. It had some magical realism. It was this girl who traveled, and she had to keep traveling in order to basically not have this illness come over her. And it's just a lot of traveling, a lot of walking through
a wide
world.
Yeah.
And the title spoils it, really.
That actually was the highlight of the whole book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The walking.
And it's so disjointed. The traveling is disjointed, and the relationship to the character, like I couldn't have one.
Yeah.
It just didn't have a purpose. It didn't really have a reason. The end was like, it just was over real fast.
Ran out of places to walk.
I mean, pretty much. So that's where I'm going to end that.
Cool.
It just was not. It was also compared to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and that's another one of my top
contest.
Books. It's like here and here. So no comparison. Day and night. The end. Well,
I might get some hate for my last one, but on my list is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And
it's just a book that's not for you. It's fine.
That's right. It's not for me. My preference is it's not for anyone. But it's just, it was a giant, long, you can see it's a long book, cliche. All the characters were boring. Every single thing done in it has been done better in other fantasy novels. The spiciness wasn't even spicy, so if like you're looking for that, you wasted
it didn't really come until the second
lot
book.
Of time. I don't understand. I mean, truly, like, I would rather just watch Beauty and the Beast, the Disney movie, than read this ripoff of it. And I would have saved about 10 hours. And that's that. If you like this book, I'd love to know why. I think the people who love this book are new to reading, and everything that takes place in here is new to them.
It's a very popular book, so a lot of people have liked it. And for the longest time, I refused to read it. So
should have kept refusing. That's how I feel about it.
I read the second one too.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be reading the rest, but
you'll never know how it ends.
We tried.
We did.
Yeah.
All right.
So
well, that was fun. I like doing a little bit quicker episodes and getting to talk about some different things than just the books we just read. But let us know what you think. Did we insult you? Did we validate your opinions?
And what are your top books this year or ever, whenever, like your ride or die reads?
Or I'm more interested in what books do you think are trash?
And a waste of your time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, all right, well, message us or comment. We're going to be putting some more posts out this week, and we would love to hear from you.
Please like this and subscribe. I think we're supposed to say that like at the start before we start talking. But yeah, we'd love to hear from y'all. And until next time, we bid you
good reading.